So GM and Ford use a snap-on cover that snaps into this area here, and Toyota opted to use a sticker. I got my eraser wheel here, so cordless drill. We're gonna go ahead and take off the letters down there first, or what's left of the letters. Then we'll back up and work our way down the pinstripe. Move right down here. Show you guys how this works. Basically, you just put it on a drill, and then you just spin it around like so, and apply it to the surface, and it will erase what's on top of the paint. That's basically how it works. It pulls it off there, and yeah, there's a little impression that remains there, but we're going to take all this down and respray it, so that'll go away. So I set the camera down. We're going to get to work. We're going to get to work, buddy. Alright, I did switch over to some air just to show you guys it does work with the air tool. Standard dot grinder. You can get Harbor Freight for as cheap as 14 bucks, sometimes 10 I think. So yeah, it works either way. It does take a lot of air to run this thing with this because it's so heavy. But it does work as you see. I removed the rear badge. You can kind of see the TRD faded there, kind of ghosted, and the stripe all the way down the side with the electric drill. My recommendation, if you got a lot to remove, I get a plug-in drill because your battery-powered drill is probably going to suffer a little bit. It's quite a bit of revolutions and continuous motion. So anyway, you can take that for what it is. I'm going to get to the other side, and then we're going to back this thing out and hose it down. I'm going to bring it here and get it prepped for some paint. Oh yeah. Got everything washed up, most of the dirt off of there. Got the pinstripes off. Got to do a little eraser right here. I did forget to remove that sticky residue from the Tacoma logo. Outside of that, everything's pretty much gone that we needed out of the way. I think there's something on the tailgate back here that I forgot to get. Yeah, get that V6 logo. Pop that off. And this little logo over here. Yeah. Get Toyota Knox Vegas off of there, and I think that'll be it. So I've got most everything cleaned up. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some 600 or 800, and we'll go ahead and start attacking this area that's real rough, real bad. See how that comes along, and then we'll go through and scuff up everything else, bumper cover, fenders, doors, and get it ready for some fresh base coat and some clear. talk scuff. So probably seen these before. This is a scuff pad. There's a red one here, brown one. Now this is the scuff pad here that goes on the DA, and this is a scuff ball. So it's a red scotchbrite. You can pop in your 1/4" chuck drill or grinder, and you can also use these. Now what I like about this is you can use this with an interface pad also if you need some extra protection. Typically you don't have to worry about these. These aren't super aggressive, but these come in coarse, fine, and ultra fine. Very handy. In fact, that's why I'm using them. So you put this on your DA and you can really cover a lot of ground. The other thing it doesn't do, it doesn't wear this thing out. You're using that the scotchbrite and the scuff pad, rubbing every nook and cranny. That's great. On these big areas that are flat, like the door area down here, you still use your DA, 400, 600, 800, whatever your flavor is to get that down, or where it's prepped for your paint. I'm going to be using this because there's a lot of contours down in this area here, and then there, kind of rolls in and rolls up. You got a sharp edge here, so if I take my DA like so, and I bring it all the way down the panel to here, I don't want to roll that paper on this edge because you can burn through that all the way across. Since we're just going to be doing a light respray, basically taking care of fixing the clear issue, we're going to take our scotch pad and go along the whole surface, and then we'll dust some base coat on and then re-clear the whole truck. Now in case of the top and the hood, those are going to get sealed because they were beyond the point of repair. Essentially the clear coat had broken down to where you had cracks in the clear, which exposes the base coat to UV rays. Once the base coat is exposed to UV, it's done for. The job of the clear coat is to protect the base coat. So once your base coat is exposed, you got to take it off and fix it. Now granted, you can put epoxy primer over top of cracked base coat, but let me tell you what, it will show. It might not be tomorrow, it might not be next year, but eventually those cracks underneath will come to the surface. I'll do a couple passes with this just to show you guys how it works, and then I'll get back to work. Now that was real time. I didn't speed anything up. In case you're wondering if that was a time lapse, it's not. Got a clean microfiber. I'm just going to wipe this dust away. Bring you guys in here close so you can take a closer look. You see where it's clear down there. Pan back this way. That is just about ready to be resprayed. So you know, if you're doing a blend or something like that, cannot beat the 5-inch scotchbrite for your DA. It's awesome. See, I worked in that little alcove right there. Got another pass to do just to clean that line up right in there, but it worked right up in there. I even worked this edge on the bottom. No burn through. And it's quick, a matter of seconds instead of a couple minutes. So if you gotta save some time, grab you some of these for your DA sander. Save yourself a lot of time. And you know, time is money. And as I said before, I'm always trying to put money back in your pocket. So you're welcome. So we made some progress. Main portion of the door pretty much done. Gotta go down, hit the bottom of the doors and the rocker panels, and I'll get my red scuff pad and go by hand down underneath the mirror up above there. Probably just going to pull the mirrors off. Let's get those out of the way. One less thing to tape up. I did end up pulling the rear fender flare, and my reason was there's a stick-on chip guard that is right here that went back just underneath where the flare was at. You can see that little edge right there. And of course, I could not get this off with the flare on, and I could tape it off, but then we may have a change in coloration here, discoloration, or this may fade before this would, because yeah. So anyway, didn't want to do it, but we just wanted to pull the flare off, and yeah, there's dirt in behind there. So yeah, got the stick on chip guard, which is on top of the painted on chip guard, off there at the bottom. We'll heat this up with the heat gun over here, and then we can pull that off. It's pretty straightforward. You can see the bed caps are missing, and the tailgate is disassembled. Went ahead and pulled that apart, took that off the top there, got the tailgate latch out. Again, I just do this because it's less work for me to have to mask up and tape off. There's the dent. So there where the Tacoma is going to be a pain to deal with because it's embossed, but we'll get it done. I think that's the only complicated thing on this whole truck actually, is that area there. So if that's the hardest thing, I won't complain. The trickiest part, I'll be honest with you about this, and it's why I may pull this tailgate off, is when you have embossed letters like this, they like to sag or run, especially like right here where you got this little tiny area where your clear can build up and then run down into there, or you'll get runs here or there. So got to be careful when you're spraying those little small intricate little sections of letters, because it can cause issues. So GM and Ford use a snap-on cover that snaps into this area here, and Toyota opted to use a sticker. It's like some sort of vinyl that's there. So I'll mask that off so we don't get paint on it, and it'll remain black. Then I'll pop all of this up, basically just so I can get some tape under it to make sure that it's all nice and taped off and wrapped cleanly. And then after it's all taped up, we'll be ready to rock and roll. I will have to take this thing back outside again to pressure wash all the dust and dirt off, and all the stuff in here, and all the debris off the truck. So that's why I'm not too worried about the dirt that was exposed when I had to remove these other panels, because it's all got to be cleaned up one more time before we do our wax and grease remover and do our sealing on the top and the other side there. And once it's all clean, you bring it in, just tape it up, wipe it down, and you paint it. It's that simple. One thing I will mention is kudos to Toyota for this tailgate design. So the inside of the tailgate has a panel that's removable by some screws, and you have complete access to the inside of the tailgate. I mean, check this out. Both rods, and then the backup camera wires right there. You have full access. You can pop the latch in and out. Yeah. From the inside. I mean, come on, guys. This should be standard on every truck. Shouldn't have to fish the latch out from the outside and hope that the clips on the rods don't fall off inside the tailgate and all this kind of stuff. This is easy access all the way around. Definitely very cool. It's tape time. Yeah, pull the mirrors off. Took the trim around the windows. A few other things. Put a little primer on the hood. There's where I had some burn through, like I said I'd do. Went ahead and hit that with 800. Went over the top one more time. I may have to put a little bit of primer up there. I had a couple areas to burn through. Up on the very top where there's some contours. Aside from that, got a little scuff work to do around these handles. And I think there's some scuff work on the rocker panel just below the door. Yeah, a little line right down there. Aside from that, ready to finish masking it off. We'll get some paint on this thing. This one's been fun. Alright, I'm almost done taping it up, but I want to show you guys I've got the back of the truck on some skates. My reason for that is my light positioning. It's not optimal yet, but it's getting closer. So I got this truck in the middle, almost under the center bay of lights, or center run of lights. Then over on the far side, I slid the truck over. Usually I'm spraying about right here, but I slid the truck to where I'm just inside the light band. You see where the lights are at, where they're shining down, so you can put some ambient light on the side of the truck. I've got another light that I'll set over here to the side that'll also light the side of the truck. like this one back here in the corner. Just to give you an example, so you see the truck here. I'll turn this corner light on, and you can see the difference in the lighting. So that's why I moved it up, moved it over, put it on some skates so I could slide it around, dollies, whatever you want to call them. That makes it a lot easier so I can position the truck or vehicle where I can get the optimal lighting for every situation. I'm gonna go ahead and finish taping this thing up now that I got it exactly where I wanted it at. Don't have to crank it up and move it anymore. Just tape everything off. This time I think I'm gonna tape it down to the floor. Saw Marco doing that. Keep the dust from vacuuming up into the bodywork. So I think we're gonna tape it down to the floor this time. This should be fun.